Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English in Minutes. I'm Natasha, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. If you're someone who has been trying to learn English but finds it difficult, confusing, or even frustrating at times, then you are not alone. In fact, most people who learn English as a second or third language have felt the same way. It's completely normal to feel stuck even after trying for months or years. Today, we're going to talk about exactly why learning English can feel so difficult, and more importantly, what you can do to make it easier and more natural in your daily life. This lesson will not only help you understand the challenges of learning English, but also give you examples, exercises, and real-life strategies to improve your English speaking, listening, and confidence, step by step. Let's begin by acknowledging something very important. English is not difficult because you are bad at learning. It's difficult because the English language is full of exceptions, strange grammar rules, silent letters, confusing pronunciation, and many different ways of saying the same thing. English words often do not sound like how they are written. For example, the word though ends with a GH, but it sounds like though. Then we have through, thought, and tough, which all have the same ending, but sound completely different. This makes reading and speaking harder for learners who are trying to understand logic in the language. And yes, you are not imagining it. English can sometimes feel like it doesn't make sense. But here's something interesting. Even native English speakers find parts of the language difficult. They may also mix up spellings like there, and there. So if you're feeling lost, you're not behind. You're just learning a language that even native speakers struggle with sometimes. That's why today's video is going to be very special. I will take you through the common reasons English feels hard, especially in real-life situations, and help you with practice examples. To make everything clearer, let's take a quick exercise to warm up our listening and thinking skills. I'll say a few confusing English sentences. Try to repeat them out loud after me. I read a book yesterday. Now listen to this one. I will read a book tomorrow. Notice, the word read is spelled the same, but sounds different. Yesterday it sounded like read, but tomorrow it sounds like read. That's one small example of why English can be tricky. But don't worry, we're going to learn more together. Another reason why English feels difficult is the huge variety of vocabulary words that are used in different situations. You might learn one word in school, but then when you hear people in movies or daily conversations, they use a different word that means the same thing. For example, you may learn the word begin, but in real life, people often say start, or instead of saying, I'm very tired, people say, I'm exhausted, or even, I'm wiped out. The language is full of synonyms, idioms, and expressions that are not always taught in textbooks. So even if you know the basic grammar and vocabulary, understanding natural spoken English can still be hard. That's why practice is more important than just memorizing rules. Let's practice some sentence variations together. I'll say a sentence, and then we'll change it into more natural or casual forms. First sentence. I am not interested in that topic. A more natural way to say this in daily life is, that's not really my thing, or I'm not into that. Now, try saying it with me. I'm not into that. Here's another. She is very angry. A more real-life way would be, she's so mad, or she's furious. Now try, she's mad. Repeating and practicing these different versions will help you feel more fluent in real conversations. Now let's talk about grammar. English grammar is full of tenses, and choosing the right tense can be confusing. You might ask yourself, should I say, I eat, I am eating, I have eaten, or I had eaten? These tenses all describe similar things, but they are used at different times. Native speakers don't even think about these tenses when they talk. They just feel what sounds right. But for learners, it's a lot to keep in mind. One small change in tense can change the meaning of your sentence. So what can you do? Practice listening to real-life English and notice how native speakers use tenses naturally. Over time, your brain will begin to feel the patterns, and you will begin to choose the right tense automatically. Here's a small grammar practice you can do. I'll give you a sentence in present tense, and then we'll change it to past tense and future tense. Let's start with, I walk to school. Now say the past tense, I walked to school. Now future, I will walk to school. Another one, she eats breakfast. Past tense, she ate breakfast. Future, she will eat breakfast. These simple changes help you become more flexible in expressing your thoughts. Another difficulty that learners often mention is pronunciation. English pronunciation is not consistent with spelling. Words that look similar may sound different, and words that sound the same may be spelled differently. Think of the words right and right. They sound the same, but are spelled differently. Or the word read. It can be pronounced as read or read, depending on the tense. This irregularity confuses learners and makes it hard to trust what you see. The solution is not to rely only on reading. You must listen to English daily through podcasts, videos, or conversations, and practice repeating what you hear. This is known as shadowing, and it helps you match your pronunciation to that of native speakers. Let's do a short shadowing practice right now. I'll say a sentence, and you repeat right after me. Try to copy the rhythm, tone, and speed. Ready? I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? Say it again. I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? Now another one. It's been a long day. I need some rest. Try repeating. It's been a long day. I need some rest. Shadowing like this every day, even for just 10 minutes, can change your fluency level over time. Now let's talk about confidence. Many people say English is difficult, not because of the language itself, but because they feel shy, nervous, or scared to speak. This is especially true in public or around native speakers. They worry about making mistakes or sounding funny. But remember, making mistakes is part of learning. Native speakers make grammar mistakes too. Think about children when they are learning to talk. They make all kinds of mistakes, but no one laughs at them. We encourage them to keep going. That's the same attitude you need to have for yourself. Don't wait until your English is perfect. To start speaking, start now. Even if you make mistakes, speak to yourself in the mirror. record your voice, or talk to a friend. Every little bit helps. Let's try a speaking exercise now. Imagine you are in a coffee shop, and the barista asks, "What can I get you today?" How do you respond? You could say, "I'd like a large coffee, please." Or casually, "Can I get a large coffee?" Try saying it aloud. "Can I get a large coffee?" Now imagine the barista replies, "Would you like milk or sugar?" You can say, "Just milk, please." Try that. "Just milk, please." Practicing these short dialogues in your mind and out loud helps build your confidence. See, when the real moment comes, another problem many learners face is the pressure to speak fast. But fluency is not about speaking quickly. It's about speaking clearly and naturally. Some of the best English speakers speak slowly and with purpose. So don't rush your words, take your time to think and express yourself. Over time, speed will come naturally. Another challenge that many learners face is the large number of phrasal verbs in English. A phrasal verb is a combination of a verb with a small word like up, out, or on. The hard part is that the meaning often changes completely. For example, look means to see, but look up can mean to search for information, and look after means to take care of someone. These small changes create big differences in meaning. You might think you understand a word, but then it gets used in a different way, and suddenly you feel lost. The only way to master phrasal verbs is to hear them often and practice them in real conversations. Let's try a phrasal verb practice. I'll say the base verb, and you try to guess or understand the meaning with the phrasal version. First, the verb give. Now say, give up. That means to stop trying. Repeat after me, I won't give up. Next, take. Now say, take off. That can mean removing something like clothes or when an airplane leaves the ground. Try saying, the plane took off. Next is turn. Now say, turn down. This means to reject something. Try this. He turned down the job offer. When you hear these phrases regularly and say them out loud, they become part of your speaking memory. Another thing that makes English difficult is the large number of exceptions to the rules. You might learn a rule, like adding ed to make the past tense, and then suddenly you see irregular verbs, like go becomes went, or eat becomes ate. These don't follow the rule, and you just have to memorize them. This creates confusion and slows down your progress, especially when you try to form sentences quickly. But here's the good news. The most common irregular verbs appear very often in everyday English. That means you will hear and use them a lot. And the more you use them, the more natural they become. Let's do an irregular verb practice together. I'll say the present form, and you say the past. Ready? Go, went, eat, ate, see, saw, have, had, take, took, say, said. Try repeating them again, and make a sentence with each one. For example, I went to the market. She ate dinner at 7. We saw a movie. He had a cold. They took the wrong bus. I said hello. This kind of speaking practice helps you build memory and fluency over time. Now, let's talk about listening skills. Listening to English is one of the hardest parts for learners. People speak fast. They connect words, use slang, and sometimes don't pronounce each word clearly. You might hear, "What do you want to do?" as, "What do you want to do?" Or, "I'm going to," as, "I'm gonna." These connected and reduced forms make English sound different from how it's written. If you only learn English from books, you might feel shocked when you hear how people actually speak. That's why it's important to listen to real English daily, movies, podcasts, YouTube videos, or conversations, and try to understand how the words are connected and reduced in speech. Here's a short listening and repeating practice to help you with this. I'll say the slow version first, then the fast, natural version. Try to repeat both. Slow. What are you doing? Fast. What you doing? Repeat. What you doing? Another one. Slow. I am going to eat now. Fast. I'm gonna eat now. Repeat. I'm gonna eat now. Another one. Slow. Do you want to come with me? Fast. Do you want to come with me? Repeat. Do you want to come with me? Practicing with these real-life sounds makes you better at understanding native speech and also helps you sound more natural when speaking. A lot of learners also say that English spelling is confusing. That's completely true. The way words are spelled often doesn't match how they are pronounced. For example, Colonel is spelled Colonel, but sounds like Colonel, or bologna, which is spelled Bologna, but pronounced bologna. Why is this the case? Because English has borrowed words from many different languages, like French, Latin, and German. Over time, the spelling stayed, but the pronunciation changed. So, don't blame yourself if you spell something wrong or can't read a word correctly at first. Even native speakers have trouble with spelling and pronunciation sometimes. To improve your spelling and pronunciation, try this practice. Take a word like enough. It sounds like enough. Now try to write it phonetically, then compare it to the correct spelling. Next, try knowledge. It sounds like knowledge, but is spelled Knowledge. Repeat. Knowledge. Now write it. Seeing and hearing the word together helps your brain build connections between spelling and sound. Let's take a moment to talk about fear of speaking. This is a real emotional challenge for many English learners. You might understand English perfectly, but freeze when it's time to speak. Your mind goes blank. You forget words. You get nervous. This is not because you don't know English. It's because you haven't trained yourself to speak under pressure. The best way to break this fear is to start speaking in low-pressure situations first. Speak with yourself. Record voice notes or talk to someone you trust. Say a few sentences every day, no matter how simple they are. Gradually, your brain gets used to speaking without panic. Let's try a calm speaking exercise. Repeat these simple sentences with a relaxed voice. I can speak English. I am improving every day. I make mistakes, and that's okay. I enjoy learning. I don't need to be perfect. I will keep going. Say them slowly, with belief. You'll be surprised how much confidence you can build by practicing positive, simple sentences out loud. Another difficulty in learning English comes from not having enough chances to use it in real life. You might learn grammar and vocabulary in class or through apps, but if you don't use it daily, it fades away. Language is like a muscle. You need to exercise it often. If you don't live in an English-speaking country, don't worry. You can still create English experiences for yourself. Label objects in your house with English words. Set your phone and apps to English. Watch English shows with subtitles. Join online speaking groups. Or talk to friends who are also learning. These small changes create an English-rich environment around you, and that helps your brain start thinking in English. Let's do a quick imagination activity. Imagine waking up in the morning and speaking only English to yourself. You say, "Good morning, I need to brush my teeth. What should I eat for breakfast?" Then you make your coffee and say, "I'm making coffee, it smells so good." Then while eating, you say, "I'm eating toast with butter." This is called self-talk, and it's one of the most powerful tools for building fluency when you're alone. The more you talk to yourself in English, the faster your speaking ability grows. One more reason why learning English feels difficult is that learners often compare themselves to others. You might watch someone on social media or meet someone who speaks English fluently and wonder, why can't I speak like that? But what we forget is that every learner has a different background, a different amount of time to practice, and different ways of learning. Some people have been listening to English since childhood through movies and songs. Others may have had a tutor or lived in an English-speaking environment. Comparing yourself only creates pressure and disappointment. What matters is your own journey. Progress in language learning is not always fast, but it is always happening. If you stay consistent, here's a mindset exercise for you. Repeat after me. I will not compare my English to others. Say it again. I will focus on my own progress. One more time. I am learning at my own pace, and that's enough. When you remind yourself of these things regularly, your motivation increases and your stress decreases. Another common difficulty is related to thinking in your native language and trying to translate everything into English. This slows you down and creates confusion. For example, if you speak a language with a different sentence structure, you might keep trying to build English sentences using your language's rules. This leads to strange or incorrect grammar. The key here is to train your brain to think directly in English. This may sound hard at first, but with practice, it becomes natural. Let's try an exercise to help you think in English. I'll say a few things, and you repeat them without translating. It's raining today. I forgot my umbrella. I'll wait until the rain stops. Maybe I'll have some tea. These are simple thoughts, but saying them directly in English without translating trains your brain to switch languages quickly. Start by doing this once or twice a day. Describe what you're doing while you do it. For example, when cooking, say, I'm boiling water. I'm cutting vegetables. Now I'm adding spices. The more you do this, the more fluent your thoughts in English will become. Sometimes, the difficulty comes not from grammar or pronunciation, but from understanding tone and expression. English speakers often use polite or indirect ways of speaking. Whoa, Ish may confuse learners. For example, when someone says, "That might not be the best idea," they may actually mean, "That's a bad idea." Or if someone says, "I'm not sure that will work," they might really mean, "No." These soft expressions are common in English, especially in professional or polite settings. Understanding them takes practice and exposure. Let's do a tone practice. I'll say a sentence and tell you the real meaning behind it. Try repeating it and noticing the tone. I'm not sure that's possible, meaning probably not. Let me think about it, meaning I need time, or I'm not convinced. That's interesting. Depending on the tone, it can mean I like it or I don't know what to say. Understanding tone is not something you learn from books. It's something you develop by listening to native speakers and observing how they speak in different situations. Another area where English learners struggle is with questions. English has many types of questions: yes or no questions, which questions, tag questions, and indirect questions. For example, do you like coffee? Is a yes or no question. What kind of coffee do you like? Is a we question. You like coffee, don't you? Is a tag question. And can you tell me what kind of coffee you like? Is an indirect question. Understanding how to ask and answer these questions fluently can be overwhelming. Let's do a question practice. I'll say a statement, and then we'll turn it into different types of questions. Statement: You live in New York. Yes, no. Do you live in New York? We question: Where do you live? Tag: Question: You live in New York, don't you? Indirect question: Can you tell me where you live? Repeat each one slowly and clearly. Practicing these forms helps you speak with more variety and confidence in real conversations. Now let's talk about vocabulary again. English has a large number of words borrowed from other languages, and sometimes these words don't follow regular patterns. For example, the word rendezvous comes from French and is pronounced rendezvous, or tsunami, which is from Japanese. These foreign words make pronunciation and spelling even more difficult. Also, many English words have more than one meaning. Take the word run. You can run in the park, but a machine can also run. A nose can run. When you're sick, a show can run. On TV, the same word is used in many different ways, and this creates confusion. To get better at handling multiple meanings, practice with real sentences. I'll give you a word and use it in two different ways. Word: run. Sentence 1. I run every morning. Sentence 2. The car is running fine now. Word: break. Sentence 1. Be careful not to break the glass. Sentence 2. Let's take a break. Word: light. Sentence 1. Turn on the light. Sentence 2. This bag is very light. As you can see, understanding context is the key. Don't try to memorize every meaning at once. Learn new meanings slowly through examples. Sometimes, learners feel discouraged because their progress seems slow. They may study every day, but still make mistakes. They may understand lessons, but forget them during conversation. This is completely normal. Language learning is not a straight line. You will have good days and bad days. The key is to stay consistent and patient. Just like learning to play an instrument or a sport, English takes time, repetition, and effort. You will not notice progress every day, but if you keep practicing, you will improve more than you expect. Let's do a quick reflection exercise. Close your eyes and think about where you were with your English 6 months ago. Maybe you couldn't form full sentences. Maybe you were afraid to speak. Now look at yourself today. You are learning through full videos, doing practice exercises, and understanding difficult concepts. That's progress. Be proud of your journey. One final challenge many learners face is mixing up American English and British English. You might learn one version, but then hear another version in movies or online. For example, apartment in American English is flat in British English. Elevator becomes lift. Vacation becomes holiday. The spelling can also be different. Color in American English is spelled color in British. These differences can confuse learners, especially when both versions appear in your learning materials. But don't worry, you don't need to master both. Just choose one version, either American or British, and stay consistent. Over time, you can understand both, but starting with one helps build a strong foundation. Let's do a vocabulary matching practice. I'll say the American word, and you say the British version. Truck? In British English, it's lorry. Flashlight. The British version is torch. Sweater. In British English, it's jumper. Cookie. The British version is biscuit. Learning these pairs helps you understand both versions when needed. But remember, it's okay to focus on just one. Now, let's talk a little more about daily routine English. Because one reason people find English difficult is that they don't know how to use it in ordinary, everyday situations. They know the grammar rules, they've learned some vocabulary, but when it comes to saying something like, "I need to buy groceries," or "Can you pass the salt?" they feel stuck. This happens because real-life English isn't about perfect grammar or big words. It's about comfort with common phrases, spoken naturally and clearly. So let's build that comfort through more realistic daily conversation practice. Imagine you're at home on a weekend. What kinds of sentences do you normally say in your native language? Let's try saying those. In English, I need to clean the kitchen. The laundry is still in the washer. Let's watch a movie tonight. Do you want some tea? I'll take a nap after lunch. Where did I put my phone? These simple sentences may look small, but speaking them out loud in English throughout your day is one of the most effective ways to improve fluency. When you do this regularly, English becomes part of your life, not just a subject you study. Let's try a mini dialogue practice. I'll say one person's line, and you say the reply. I'll begin. Hey, are you hungry? You can reply, yeah, I could eat. Next line. What do you feel like having? You might say, maybe pizza or something simple. Then, should we order or cook at home? You might respond, let's cook, it's cheaper. These are everyday phrases you can use with anyone. Practicing this type of casual speaking builds the fluency. that many learners struggle with, especially when they rely only on formal lessons. Let's do another routine-based practice. I'll describe a morning routine, and you repeat after me in short sections. I wake up at 7 a.m. I brush my teeth and wash my face. Then I make breakfast. I usually have eggs and toast. After breakfast, I take a shower. Then I get dressed and go to work. These types of routines are something you can describe every single day. Pick any part of your day, morning, lunch break, shopping, cleaning, and start describing it in English. You don't need anyone to talk to. You can say it to yourself. The goal is to practice forming thoughts and sentences easily. Now let's deal with one final reason why English feels difficult: too much pressure to be perfect. Many learners think they need to know all the rules, say everything correctly, and speak fluently without any pauses. But the truth is, no one speaks perfectly, not even native speakers. People hesitate, repeat themselves, forget words, and even change their sentences halfway through. Real communication is about sharing ideas and connecting with others, not delivering a perfect performance. If you wait for perfection, you may never speak. If you accept that making mistakes is part of the process, you will grow faster and more confidently. Let's do a mistake-friendly practice. I'll say a sentence with a small mistake, and then we'll correct it together. First, she don't like coffee. That's incorrect. The correct form is, she doesn't like coffee. Now try another one. He go to school every day. The correction is, he goes to school every day. One more. I am going yesterday. Correction. I went yesterday. Practicing mistakes helps you spot them easily when you speak, and more importantly, it helps you feel okay when you make them, because you know how to fix them. Let's also do a fluency building activity. I'll give you a topic, and you try to talk about it for 1 minute using simple sentences. The topic is, my favorite food. You can begin like this. My favorite food is pasta. I like pasta because it's easy to make. I usually cook it with tomatoes, garlic, and cheese. I eat it at least once a week. My family also enjoys pasta. Sometimes we eat it with salad. It makes me feel full and happy. That's a short paragraph with simple words, but it's fluent, clear, and easy to understand. This is exactly what fluency is. You don't need to use big, fancy words. You just need to speak naturally. Let's try one more. The topic is, my weekend plans. You could say, on the weekend, I plan to relax. I'll probably sleep late on Saturday. Then I might go out with friends. We may watch a movie or go shopping. On Sunday, I want to clean my room and do laundry. I'll also study English for 1 hour. Again, short and natural sentences that help you build confidence while using real language. Now, as we begin to close today's video, I want to leave you with some important thoughts. Learning English is not a race, it's a journey. You may go slow some days and fast on others. What matters most is that you keep going. There will always be difficult parts: spelling, grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, or confidence. But there will also be progress. The day you understand a movie without subtitles, the first time you order food in English, the moment you write an email or speak to a stranger without fear, These small victories matter more than any test score. You've already come so far just by watching and practicing with this lesson. That means you care. That means you are growing. That means your English is improving. Even if you don't feel it right away, every word you repeat, every sentence you build, and every mistake you learn from is one more step toward fluency. And fluency is not something that suddenly appears, it's something that slowly grows until one day you realize, wow, I can understand and speak English so much better than before. So don't give up. Don't let frustration stop you. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Speak a little every day. Listen a little every day. Repeat sentences. Read aloud. Watch videos. Write short thoughts. Think in English. Make it part of your life. And most importantly, be kind to yourself along the way. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new lesson. We post fresh English learning videos every day to support your journey. And don't forget to share this with a friend who might be struggling with English too. Maybe it'll help them understand that they're not alone and that they can do this, just like you. Thank you so much for watching and practicing with me today. I'm Natasha, and I'll see you again very soon in the next video. Until then, keep speaking, keep listening, and keep learning. You're doing great.